Bayless here with your merchantdoctor.net processing point. Welcome back to the third part in our series, all about how to better understand your credit card processing statement. You know, all too often merchants just don't have a clear understanding not only how they're being billed for their services, but how much they're being charged for their credit card processing services. So in the third part of our series, we're going to take a look at the fees that you're paying. Now, these could be weekly, monthly, or annual fees that are on your statement that you may or may not have to pay for at all. So let's jump right in and get you started saving some money. So when it comes to fees, I've broken them down into three basic sections for us today. At the top of my list, I have fees that you most likely should never pay. Then we're going to take a look at potential third-party fees, and finally we'll look at the fees that you can negotiate. Now, when I say never pay at the top of the list here, I'm speaking to the standard retail merchant, someone that has a relatively straightforward setup and that is not high risk. If you are a pretty standard merchant, then you should never have to pay any kind of application fee, setup fee, or annual fee in addition to your PCI compliance. So if you are being charged these fees, make sure that they are removed from your bill, and if your processor refuses to remove them, then it may be time to start shopping for a new processor. Now, number two, understand service or third-party fees. Now, this is very important because sometimes you will see a service fee on your statement, and it is just 100% pure profit for your processor. However, sometimes third parties, for instance, secure gateways or things of this nature, might fall into the category of service fees. So if you're being charged any kind of service fee, ask your processor to explain what it is, and if it appears to be pure profit for them, ask them to remove it or at least reduce it so you can start saving money right away. Finally, fees that you can negotiate. Now, these are very common fees that may or may not benefit you that you can negotiate. Now, fee number one, per authorization or per item. Now, it's very important to understand the difference between these two items. Per authorization means that every time you swipe a card, you're actually going to get charged a small fee, like 10 to 25 cents. Per item, you will get charged that same fee, but only when the transaction is finalized. So if your business model is taking lots of deposits with credit cards and then accepting other forms of payment, you may be able to save some money by being asked to switch over to a per item basis rather than a per authorization basis. Now, the second part here, we have merchant clubs. Now, merchant clubs can be a great thing for a lot of merchants. So if you're being billed for a merchant club, simply call up your processor and ask them to send you a list of the benefits. Take a look at the list. If it is stuff that you will use and discounts that will benefit you, then maybe you can choose to stay with the club. Otherwise, opt out of the club. There is no shackles on this. You can opt out at any time on merchant clubs, and you can save a considerable amount of money, considering that most merchant clubs are billed at $10 to $25 a month. Finally, monthly minimums. Now, monthly minimums, if you see a monthly minimum charge on your bill and you have not accepted any kind of free equipment, then you should be able to have that monthly minimum removed from the bill. So if you're a low volume merchant and you see a minimum coming in every month, make sure you call up your processor and have them explain to you why you're being charged that. If it's because you took free equipment, you probably can't get out of it. But if you did not accept the free equipment, then most likely you can have that removed from your bill. Now, the third one here we have is a statement fee. Statement fees are very common. If you're not being charged one, it's probably already been worked into the rates that you're paying. But if you are being charged a statement fee, you should note that it should be less than $10. If it's more than $10, call up and have them reduce it for you. So these are the most common rates and fees that you're going to see on your bill. If you still don't understand your bill after our three-part series, call up your processor and have them go through it with you, or reach out to the Merchant Doctor and we'll be happy to help you with that. Well, thank you for staying tuned for all three parts of our series on how to better understand your credit card processing statement. Now, if you're still confused after all that, feel free to visit our website at www.merchantdoctor.net and click on Get a Quote. Send us your statements and we'll be happy to give you a no-pressure, no-obligation analysis of how much you are really paying for your credit card processing. So this has been Rhett Bayless with the merchantdoctor.net processing point. We look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, jump on over to LinkedIn or Facebook, Google Plus or Twitter and join us so you can stay informed and stay ahead of the game.